The sound cuts through the ICU corridor like glass breaking. Not a scream. Not a shout. A slap. The kind that freezes everyone mid-step, mid-breath, mid-thought. The kind that makes you look even when you don't want to. The nurse stands there, clipboard still in hand. Her cheek burns red. Her eyes don't blink. She doesn't touch her face. Doesn't step back. Doesn't speak. The woman who hit her, expensive coat, designer bag, diamond ring catching the fluorescent light, doesn't lower her hand right away. She holds it there for a second longer, like she wants everyone to see. Like she wants them to remember who's in charge. Maybe next time you'll learn to move faster when I'm talking to you. Hi, welcome to this beautiful storytelling channel. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe to my channel and tell me what country you are watching from. The hallway is silent. Not peaceful. Heavy. The air feels thick, like everyone's holding their breath at the same time. Two other nurses stand frozen near the supply closet. A doctor halfway down the hall stops writing. A visitor presses herself against the wall, pretending she didn't see anything. But they all saw it. The nurse finally moves. Not away. Toward the patient monitor. She checks the 4-line. Adjusts the drip rate. Her hands don't shake. Her voice when it comes is steady. Nurse Candace, can you take over room 12 for me? That's it. No yelling. No tears. No defense. Candace nods quickly, eyes wide, and slips into the room like she's escaping something. The wealthy woman isn't done. She steps closer, close enough that her perfume, something floral and suffocating, fills the space between them. People like you think you can just walk around here like you own the place. Your staff. Act like it. The nurse meets her eyes. Just for a second. Long enough to show she heard. Long enough to show she's choosing not to respond. Then she walks. Not fast. Not slow. Deliberate. Past the supply closet. Past the nurse's station. Into the break room. The door clicks shut behind her. Inside she stands at the sink. Runs cold water. Presses a damp paper towel to her cheek. The sting is sharp, but she's felt worse. She's survived worse. She pulls out her phone. Opens her contacts. Scrolls to a name with no photo, no emoji, just 2 letters. She types 4 words. Something happened at work. She doesn't add details. Doesn't explain. Doesn't ask for anything. She just sends it. Then she throws the paper towel away, smooths her scrubs, checks her reflection in the mirror. Her face is calm. Professional. Untouchable. She walks back out into the corridor. The wealthy woman is gone now, probably already in her car, already forgetting. Already convinced she won. The nurse doesn't go to HR. Doesn't file a complaint. Not yet. She goes to the nurse's station. Logs into the system. Opens the incident report screen. She types slowly, carefully. Every word exact. Every detail recorded. Time of incident. Location. Witness names. Physical contact. Verbal statements. She clicks submit. The system confirms receipt. A small notification pops up on the screen. Report logged. Administration will review within 48 hours. She logs out. Returns to her rounds. Room 14 needs vitals. Room 16 needs medication. Room 18 needs reassurance. She gives it all. Like nothing happened. Like her cheek isn't still burning. Like the whole floor isn't whispering. By the time her shift ends, the sun is setting. She clocks out. Changes in the locker room. Ties her shoes. Grabs her bag. Her phone buzzes. One message. Where? Not, are you okay? Not, what happened? Just where? She types the hospital name. It's sent. Locks her locker. She walks through the parking lot. Gets in her car. Drives home in silence. No music. No podcast. Just the hum of the engine and the weight of what comes next. What the woman didn't know was that this single entry would trigger a chain reaction no apology could stop. 72 hours. That's all the time she has left before everything she knows collapses. But right now, in this moment, the wealthy woman doesn't know that. She's in her penthouse, wine glass in hand, laughing about her day with a friend over speakerphone. You wouldn't believe the incompetence at that hospital, she says, examining her nails. I had to put one of the nurses in her place. These people forget who pays their salaries. Her friend laughs. They move on to gossip about someone's failed marriage. Meanwhile, across the city, the nurse sits on her couch. No TV. No distraction. Just silence. Her phone sits on the coffee table, screen dark. She's not crying. Not pacing. Not planning revenge. She's waiting. At the hospital, the incident report sits in a digital queue. An administrator sees it during the night shift. Reads it twice. Flags it. Sends it up the chain. But nothing happens. Not yet. Security footage gets reviewed. The slap is there, clear as day. The audio picks up every word. Still nothing moves. Hospitals protect donors. Wealthy donors especially. The nurse knew this would happen. That's why she didn't go to HR first. That's why she didn't make a scene. She went straight to documentation. Evidence that can't be erased. Hour 8 arrives. The wealthy woman wakes up refreshed. Her assistant brings her coffee. Her schedule is full: brunch, a charity board meeting, a private shopping appointment. Everything feels normal. But at 9:47 a.m., her lawyer's office calls. We need to reschedule your consultation. Something came up. Minor. Annoying. She sighs and agrees. At 11:15 a.m., her usual reservation at the club is suddenly unavailable. System error, they say. Strange but not alarming. At 2:33 p.m., a business partner doesn't return her call. She frowns. Checks her phone. Sends a follow-up text. Nothing. These aren't disasters. Just friction. Little things that normally glide smoothly now catching, slowing, stopping. She shakes it off. Back at the hospital, the nurse works her shift like any other day. Patients trust her. Co-workers respect her. She moves through the halls with the same calm she always has. One of the older nurses pulls her aside. You okay? I heard what happened yesterday. I'm fine, she says. And she means it, because she knows something no one else does. The man on the other end of that text message didn't ask if she was okay. He didn't ask what happened. He asked where. And when you know someone who moves in silence, that question is the only one that matters. At 6 p.m. her phone buzzes. I'll be there tonight. No emojis. No reassurance. Just a fact. She texts back a single word. Okay. She finishes her shift. Clocks out. Drives home. When she opens her apartment door, he's already there. Sitting on her couch. Still. Quiet. He doesn't ask if she's hurt. He can see the faint bruise on her cheek. He doesn't ask if she wants revenge. He already knows. He asks one question. Do you want me to stop this, or do you want me to finish it? She sits down next to him. Takes his hand. I want them to understand. Not suffer. Understand. He nods slowly. That answer just changed everything. Most people see the scrubs and assume they know her story. They don't. Her name is Zara. Not Sarah. Not Jennifer. Zara. She grew up in a country where survival meant silence, where speaking up got you disappeared, where helping people was the only power you had. She became a nurse because she watched her grandmother die in a hallway, ignored by doctors who didn't think she mattered. That image never left her. So she studied. Worked overnight shifts to pay for school. Slept 3 hours a night. Passed every exam. Earned credentials that should have opened doors. But those doors stayed closed. Not because she wasn't good enough. Because she was foreign. Because her accent didn't sound right. Because her skin tone made patients uncomfortable. She applied to 15 hospitals before one finally said yes. She took it. Worked twice as hard. Stayed twice as late. Proved herself 100 times over. And still, people like that woman treated her like she was invisible. At the hospital, patients ask for her by name. Room 9 refuses medication unless Zara administers it. Room 12's family trusts only her updates. Room 15 sleeps better when she's on shift. She doesn't talk much. Doesn't need to. Her hands are steady. Her judgment is sharp. When she says something, people listen. Other nurses know this. They ask her opinion during emergencies. They defer to her instincts. But management? They see her as replaceable. At home, her life is simple. 1 bedroom. Minimal furniture. Everything clean, organized, intentional. No luxury. No excess. Just discipline. On her day off, she volunteers at a free clinic. Treats people who can't afford hospitals. Doesn't post about it. Doesn't expect praise. She does it because it's right. Her phone buzzes. A message from him. Dinner? She smiles. Types back. Your place or mine? Yours. I'll cook. That's who she is. Someone who survived systems designed to break her. Someone who chose compassion when bitterness would have been easier. Someone who never needed saving. But when the person you love gets hurt, even the strongest foundations crack. What the hospital didn't know was that she had already survived far worse systems than theirs. Her name is Vivian. Old money. Board member at 3 hospitals. Donor plaques with her family name in 5 buildings across the city. She's not cruel for fun. She's cruel out of habit. People move when she enters a room. Assistants anticipate her needs. Restaurants hold tables. Drivers wait. This is normal for her. Consequence is something that happens to other people. She's in her home office now reviewing foundation paperwork. Her assistant hovers nearby with coffee. Reschedule the Thompson lunch, Vivian says without looking up. And confirm the gala seating chart. Already done, ma'am. Efficient. Obedient. Exactly how she likes it. Her phone rings. A friend from the country club. Vivian, darling, did you hear about the Hendersons? They talk for 20 minutes. Gossip about divorces, bad investments, social missteps. At one point, her friend asks about the hospital incident. All that. Vivian waves it off even though her friend can't see her. Just a staff issue. Some nurse with an attitude problem. I handled it. Good for you. These people need boundaries. They laugh. Agree to meet for tennis next week. Vivian hangs up feeling validated. She didn't do anything wrong. She was asserting standards. Maintaining order. That evening she attends a charity dinner. Wears a dress that costs more than most people's rent. Smiles for photos. Writes a check that gets applause. Everyone treats her the same. Respectful. Deferential. Nothing has changed. She sleeps well that night. No guilt. No second thoughts. Why would she? She's Vivian Hartford. Consequences don't apply to people like her. But consequences don't announce themselves. They accumulate in silence. And somewhere across the city, a man who never raises his voice is making a list. She would replay that slap many times, but always too late to change it. He arrives at 11 p.m. No entourage. No security detail. Just him. Average height. Dark suit. Unremarkable face. The kind of man you'd walk past without a second glance. That's intentional. His name is Hyun. And people who know that name don't say it out loud. He sits across from Zara at her small dining table. She made tea. He hasn't touched it. Tell me what happened, he says. Not angry. Just listening. She tells him. Every detail. The insult. The slap. The words after. He doesn't interrupt. Doesn't react. His face stays neutral, but his fingers tap once against the table. Just once. That's how she knows. What do you want me to do? He asks. I want her to understand what she did. Not just apologize. Understand. He nods slowly. That takes time. I have time. He stands. Kisses her forehead. I'll handle it. 2 days later, he visits the hospital. Not in anger. Just observing. He walks the same corridor where it happened. Stands in the exact spot. Looks at the cameras. Notes the sightlines. Then he goes to administration. The receptionist looks up. Can I help you? I'd like a copy of the incident report filed 2 days ago. Room 12. ICU wing. Are you family? No. Then I'm sorry we can't. He slides a business card across the desk. No name. Just a phone number. Call that. Ask for clearance. She hesitates. Picks up the phone. Dials. 30 seconds later, her face goes pale. I'll get that for you right away, sir. He waits. Doesn't sit. Just stands. She returns with a file. Hands shaking slightly. Is there anything else you need? No. Thank you. He leaves. The receptionist immediately calls her supervisor. Word spreads fast in hospitals. By end of day, 3 people know someone came asking questions. By the next morning, 7 people are suddenly very careful about what they say. This was not the moment he decided to act. He'd already decided. Power doesn't announce itself when it's real. It just rearranges the room. Vivian wakes up at 7 a.m. same as always. Her assistant has already laid out her outfit. Coffee is brewing. The morning news plays softly in the background. Everything is normal. At 8:47 a.m. her phone rings. Her lawyer's office. Mrs. Hartford, we need to postpone your estate planning meeting. Mr. Chin had an emergency come up. Fine. Reschedule for next week. His assistant said he's booked for the next month. Vivian frowns. A month? For what? She didn't say. Strange. But Chin has other clients. It happens. She moves on. At 10:15 a.m. she calls the contractor renovating her summer home. Voicemail. She leaves a message. He doesn't call back. At 12:30 p.m. her usual lunch reservation at Marcello's is unavailable. I'm sorry, Mrs. Hartford. There was a system glitch. We had to give your table away. I've had that reservation for 3 years. I understand. We can offer you a slot at 3 p.m. She hangs up. Irritated but not alarmed. At 2 p.m. her financial advisor's assistant calls. Mr. Pemberton needs to reschedule your quarterly review. Again? This is the second time this month. Yes, ma'am. He apologizes. Something urgent came up. Vivian's jaw tightens. Tell him to make time. Of course. But she knows that tone. The polite deflection. The kind that means we'll get back to you, and never does. By 4 p.m. she's made 8 calls. 4 haven't been returned. 2 meetings postponed. 1 invoice suddenly under review. Nothing catastrophic. Just friction. Like trying to walk through water when you're used to air. She tells herself it's coincidence. Bad timing. Mercury in retrograde or whatever her yoga instructor talks about. But somewhere in her chest, a small knot forms. Across town, Zara finishes her shift. A patient in room 11 holds her hand. You're the only one who listens, the old woman says. Zara squeezes gently. I'm here. She doesn't think about Vivian. Doesn't check for updates. Doesn't gloat. She just works. At home, Hyun sits in his office. Not the one people know about. The real one. 3 monitors glow in the dark. No dramatic music. No frantic typing. Just patience. He's made 5 calls today. Not threats. Just reminders. A bank manager who owes a favor. A lawyer whose son once needed help disappearing a mistake. A contractor whose permits always seem to clear faster than others. A restaurant owner who remembers when Hyun's people kept his business safe during a rough year. A financial advisor who knows better than to ask questions. Hyun doesn't demand. Doesn't threaten. He just asks, I need you to be unavailable for someone. Just for a while. They always agree. Because people like Hyun don't ask twice. At 9 p.m. Zara calls him. How was your day? She asks. Quiet. Yours? Same. Good. Silence. Comfortable. The kind couples share when words aren't needed. Hyun. Yes. Don't hurt her. Just teach her. I know. He always knows. Because the woman he loves doesn't want revenge. She wants growth. And that's harder. Slower. More permanent. At 11 p.m., Vivian lies in bed, scrolling her phone. She checks her messages. Refreshes her email. Nothing urgent. Nothing alarming. Just a vague sense that something shifted. Like the ground beneath her feet is still solid, but the angle changed slightly. She falls asleep telling herself tomorrow will be better. It won't be. Because the first crack is never the loudest. It's just the beginning. By morning, Vivian knows something is wrong. She just doesn't know what. Her contractor finally calls back. Mrs. Hartford, I'm sorry, but we need to pull out of your project. Pull out? We're halfway through. Supply chain issues. Labor shortages. I can refer you to. I don't want a referral. I want you to finish the job. Silence. I can't. He hangs up. She stares at her phone. Contractors don't just quit mid-project. Not on clients like her. At 10 a.m. her bank calls. We need additional documentation for your recent wire transfer. I've been making that transfer for 5 years. New regulations, ma'am. Just a formality. But it's not. And she knows it. At 11:30 a.m. her daughter's private school calls. Mrs. Hartford, there's been a scheduling conflict with the spring gala. We'll need to move your family's table. Move it where? We're still finalizing arrangements. Translation. Someone more important took your spot. Vivian's hands shake as she sets the phone down. This isn't coincidence anymore. 3 systems failing at once. Financial, social, professional. No single disaster. Just a dozen small humiliations. She calls her lawyer. The real one. Not the estate guy. The fixer. Thomas, I need you to look into something. What's going on? I don't know. That's what I need you to find out. Give me 48 hours. She doesn't have 48 hours. But she agrees anyway. At the hospital, Zara takes her lunch break in the courtyard. Sun on her face. Sandwich from home. Her phone buzzes. A text from Hyun. How are you? Good. Busy. Need anything? Just you. Tonight. She smiles. Puts the phone away. A coworker sits down next to her. Older nurse. Been there 20 years. You heard about that woman who slapped you? Zara looks up. What about her? Word is she's having a rough week. Karma maybe. Zara doesn't respond. Just takes another bite of her sandwich. The coworker watches her. You don't seem surprised. I'm not. Why? Zara stands. Throws her trash away. Because people who think they're untouchable always forget. Everything has a foundation. And foundations can shift. She walks back inside. The coworker sits there, confused but impressed. That evening Vivian makes 15 calls. 10 go to voicemail. 3 are too busy. 2 promise to call back and don't. Her assistant notices. Ma'am, is everything okay? Fine, Vivian snaps. Then softer, sorry. Just a strange day. But it's not a day. It's a pattern. And patterns mean intention. Someone is doing this. She just doesn't know who. At midnight her lawyer calls back. Early. Vivian, I can't help you. What do you mean you can't? I mean I can't. I'm sorry. He hangs up. She sits in the dark, phone in hand, heart pounding. For the first time in her life, Vivian Hartford is scared. Not of violence. Not of scandal. Of silence. The kind that means no one will answer when you call. Meanwhile, Zara lies in bed. Hyun next to her. Are you sure about this? He asks quietly. She turns to face him. I asked you to teach her. Not destroy her. There's a difference? Yes. Destruction is easy. Teaching takes precision. He kisses her forehead. Then we'll be precise. For the first time he hesitated, not because he was afraid but because she asked him to. What would you do if everyone you trusted suddenly became unavailable? Would you figure it out or would you break first? Tell me in the comments. Zara stares at the ceiling. Can't sleep. Not because she's celebrating. Because she's questioning. Hyun is next to her, breathing steady. Asleep or pretending to be. Hyun. I'm awake. She turns. What happens when this is over? She learns. You move on. And if she doesn't learn? He opens his eyes. Then she doesn't. But you'll know you tried. Zara sits up. Pulls her knees to her chest. I keep thinking about what she said. People like you. Like I'm less human because of my job. My skin. My accent. You're not. I know that. But she doesn't. Hyun sits up too. So what do you want? She's quiet for a long moment. I want her to see me. Not as staff. Not as a threat. As a person. Someone's daughter. Someone's partner. Someone who matters. And if she still doesn't? Then at least I tried. That question changes everything. Because revenge is simple. You break someone, they stay broken. But teaching? That requires them to choose growth. And you can't force that. Hyun watches her. This is why he loves her. Not her kindness. Her clarity. How much longer? She asks. 2 more days. Then it stops. And what will she have lost? Control of the narrative. Not her wealth. Not her status. Just the certainty that she's untouchable. Zara nods. That's enough. The next morning she calls the hospital HR. They're surprised to hear from her. We were about to reach out, the HR director says. We reviewed your incident report. We're taking this very seriously. Are you? Silence. Uncomfortable. We'd like to offer you a formal apology and... I don't want an apology from you. I want one from her. Mrs. Hartford is a major donor. I know who she is. Do you know who I am? More silence. I'm the nurse who stayed professional when someone assaulted me. I'm the person who still showed up for my patients the next day. I'm the employee who followed protocol instead of making a scene. So yes, I want an apology. A real one. The HR director clears her throat. I'll see what I can do. Thank you. Zara hangs up. She doesn't expect it to work. But she needed to say it. At her estate, Vivian paces. Her lawyer won't return calls. Her contractor vanished. Her bank is stalling. And now HR called. They want me to apologize, she tells her assistant. To who? That nurse. Her assistant says nothing. Can you believe that? They want me to apologize like I'm some common? Maybe you should. Vivian stops. Stares. Excuse me? Her assistant, who's worked for her for 8 years, meets her eyes. Maybe you should apologize. Because whatever's happening to you right now, it started after that. Vivian's face hardens. Get out. Ma'am? I said get out. The assistant leaves. Quietly. No argument. And Vivian is alone. Truly alone. For the first time she understands. This isn't random. This is connected. But to what? To who? That night Hyun gets a call. One of his contacts. She's asking questions. Hired a private investigator. Let her. You sure? She won't find anything. And even if she does, it won't matter. Because the scariest power isn't the kind you can see. It's the kind you feel everywhere and can't trace to a single source. Zara asks Hyun one more question before bed. When this ends, what do we build? He smiles. What do you want to build? Something that helps people like me. So the next nurse doesn't have to call someone like you. Then that's what we'll build. That question changed the ending. 6 months later. Vivian is still wealthy. Still lives in the same penthouse. Still has her name on donor plaques. But she's not the same. Her calls get returned slower. Her opinions carry less weight. Her presence doesn't command rooms anymore. She's learning what it's like to be ordinary. And it's the hardest lesson she's ever had. One Tuesday afternoon she's at a coffee shop. Not her usual place. Somewhere unremarkable. She's waiting for a meeting with a potential business partner. Someone who doesn't know her reputation yet. The door opens. Zara walks in. They lock eyes. Vivian freezes. Zara doesn't. She orders her coffee. Waits calmly. Vivian stands. Walks over. Her voice cracks. She clears her throat. I owe you an apology. Zara looks at her. No anger. No satisfaction. Just quiet assessment. You do. I'm sorry. For what I did. For what I said. I was wrong. Zara nods. Thank you. That's it. What else do you want me to say? Vivian's eyes fill with tears. I lost everything. No, you didn't. You lost access. There's a difference. I don't understand. Zara picks up her coffee. You still have your money, your home, your health. You just don't have people bending over backward for you anymore. And that feels like loss because you thought it was owed to you. It wasn't. Vivian stands there speechless. I hope you learned something, Zara says. Because that's all I wanted. She walks out. Vivian sits back down. Cries quietly. Not for her old life. For the person she used to be. Across town, Hyun and Zara stand in front of a new building. Small. Clean. Modest sign above the door. Zara's Place, Community Health Clinic. You sure about this? Hyun asks. She squeezes his hand. Yes. Inside it's simple. Exam rooms. A waiting area with comfortable chairs. Medical supplies donated by people who believe in the mission. They're not trying to compete with hospitals. They're filling the gaps. Free care for people who can't afford it. Respectful treatment for people who've been ignored. A safe space for communities who've been failed by the system. Zara doesn't run it alone. She built a team. Nurses who were overlooked. Doctors who were tired of corporate medicine. People who wanted to do the work, not chase profit. Opening day, the waiting room is full. A mother with 2 kids. An elderly man who hasn't seen a doctor in years. A teenager too scared to go to the ER. Zara sees them all. And when she walks into that first exam room, the patient looks up. "Thank you for coming," the woman says. "Thank you for trusting me," Zara replies. "Because that's the difference." Vivian demanded respect. Zara earned it. That evening, Hyun and Zara sit on her couch. Tired but satisfied. "You did it," he says. "We did it." He kisses her temple. "I'm proud of you." "For what?" "For choosing this. You could have destroyed her. You chose to build something instead." Zara leans into him. "Destruction is easy. Creation is power." And that's the truth. Because some slaps echo forever. But others teach the world to listen. If you've made it this far, drop a comment telling me which chapter hit you the hardest. And if this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Some lessons are bigger than one person.